Hello guys, my name is Tomek and I'm from Mistrigger. I'm online known as TinyGuy. And today I will bring you a match Prism versus Viserai against my player Lemur. We're playing post bans, so it will be without Skeleta for Viserai. I will play the recording, we'll be rolling off. We're exploring the meta right now. We're seeing if Viserai still has plays after the Skeleta ban, if it's warranted to play him instead of other Rune Blades. And we're trying to figure out if he still is able to beat Prism on some level. There's a slight error in this match. I'm playing Null Rune Gloves instead of Ironhide Gloves. It will be changed later on in the recording, but we forgot in the moment, and since we're testing, we just reverse the situation. So I'm playing a Aura build. I'm playing 9, I think, currently against Viserai, blue auras, and all of the yellow ones, filled with specific heralds and other things like that. So right off the bat, you can see I started off with a Metamorph. It's really good turn 1 because players usually don't tend to break it, because when you have 3 cards in hand, 2 cards in hand, sorry, you're still bluffing a blue card and a yellow aura, so they can't afford to pop it. And then I followed up with a Herald of Erudition to hopefully take a piece of equipment or a breaker for a future turn, and I got the Skull Cap from that. So that was a good trade for me turn 1. I will be looking in this matchup to put as much of I can into auras. So I will try to maintain 1 to 2 auras every turn if it's possible. Oftentimes it won't be possible, so in those pivot turns I will be trying to swing with heralds. The best ones are for sure War Tunes and Protections, because those make the most swings in the game, but I'll take whatever I can as per FAB rules. Okay, so what we got here, we've got a Morion Skies into a Become the Arc Knight. So now I'm probably thinking, what is my plan for next turn? If I want to block everything or just put a Parable into play. I decided to block 6 because it just prevents further rune shots from getting created. This was an awkward hand because I won't be able to do anything with this hand, so I just probably took the Tunic up. So my turn, Tunic up, Arsenal, and draw up. And once again, pretty clunky hand, 3 auras and a blue Herald. So I can't even play 2 auras. If I wanted to, if one of those cards were blue, I could have just gone double aura and take the turn, but unfortunately won't be possible. So depending on what Lemur does, I will be either blocking with the Herald, playing a aura, either the Parable from Arsenal, one of the auras in hand, and then trying to win that way. We'll see what threats the Viserai can present. There's still, of course, Sonatas, Revels, Marvion Skies. Those are the cards to watch out for. Okay, so Lemur decided to just play CNC, so I'm pretty good with that. If I would have to guess, I will either prevent the Arcane, pitch an yellow aura, and then play the Parable from Arsenal. I'll just block 3. Yep, so take 1 from the Arcane, block 3, and reactions, play Parable from Arsenal, exactly. So I will be taking 3 damage overall, including the Rune Chant. I won't be getting a on-hit with the Command and Conquer because of the instant aura, and I will be able to tick up my Tunic, Arsenal another aura, swing for 1, Arsenal another aura, exactly. And right now my Tunic is at 3, so there is a possibility if I draw a blue card that I can just pitch the blue card, take the resource from the Tunic, and then play the aura from it. But unfortunately I don't draw anything. Blue, all yellow. This hand is not bad. The Heralds of Judgment in particular are really good against this matchup, because oftentimes you worry if the opponent has the Rattlebones or not. So if they have Rattlebones, either in hand or in arsenal, you oftentimes want to block arcane damage to just not give any leeway on that, because it can be devastating, especially with Swarming Gloomveil. Exactly. As we can see, there's a Swarming Gloomveil. This is the card of oftentimes tutored from the Rattlebones. And Herald of Judgment says that when you hit the opponent with it, it goes into soul, as every Herald does. But it also prevents your opponent from playing cards from their banish zone. So when they banish with Rattlebones, they won't be able to play that card. And that's really good, because you don't have to worry about preventing arcane damage to enable the instant speed Rattlebones to search up, gain an action point, and then potentially destroy 2 auras. That's really devastating if that happens. This is the most basic play pattern in this deck when you're trying to either swing the tempo or be able to pitch a yellow card to have go again. You use your War Tunes, because when they break it, you still have one floating from your yellow card to pay for your Phantasmal Footsteps to gain an action point when the Herald breaks, and you're still able to continue your turn. So either playing a Blue Aura or playing another Herald, as per usual. I also opened with the War Tune instead of the Judgment, because I want to possibly push the Judgment more than the War Tune. And also I have the possibility to play my my aura from my arsenal. And thanks to that, I will probably prevent a break if it's defended by a 6 attack card, which is also quite handy and good to know that you can prevent that. But he just took it, so that tells me that he won't be blocking anything else in this turn, because he would probably break this Herald if he had a breaker, or break this Herald because I had no soul to prevent me from getting soul. So that's why I pushed the Judgment to make sure no Rattlebones plays will be done as well, instead of playing my aura. Okay, so this is a interesting thing that I will pause on, because I currently have a Arclight Sentinel in my hand. And Arclight Sentinel can be really devastating against Viserai, because it stops their big turn. Currently, my opponent played Lemur played Become the Arcanite. And the issue with Become the Arcanite is that I need to decide if I want to play my Sentinel. I need to decide before if they will search a non-attack or attack. And in that case, I decided to wait on, because in case I won't be playing Sentinel this turn, I can still pitch a blue card and a yellow card to be able to play a yellow aura and a blue aura. So that's a good turn as well for me. So I'm holding off, playing my Sentinel and seeing what my opponent does, and deciding from there. So they discard a non-attack to search up an attack, so that's fine, depending on what they search. Okay, so they searched a 6 attack that gets discounted by Rune Chance, and they play Mauvrion Skies, and that's the step when I stop them and ask them to wait for a second, and I will be pitching my 2 blues to play an Arclight Sentinel, and basically it just shuts down their whole turn, and they can decide whether they want to. Okay, I also changed my pitch a little bit, because I realized that with the when I pitched 2 blue cards, I realized that with the yellow card in hand and the yellow aura in my arsenal, the only thing I could do on my turn was to pitch for a Spectral Shield, just swing for 1, which is not that great. And you also want to be saving soul as well. So that wasn't ideal. So I decided to pitch with Tunic, a yellow aura and a blue aura to play my sentinel. So in this play pattern, I can tick up my Tunic again on my turn, 2-1, and I can play a blue aura and pass my turn, which is a much better turn than just getting a Spectral Shield and attacking into my opponent. As well, if I pitch this way, and the opponent decides to swing with a attack action card into my sentinel, their rune chance will pop. So I have the option to pitch my blue card for the arcane damage to prevent it, because I'm playing no rune groves, as I mentioned at the beginning. We'll probably change this soon in the recording. And if they decide to swing with Rosetta, then I'm fine with just playing Shimmers onto the board. So we'll see what Lemur does. He's probably deciding whether he wants to play the non-attack or just pitch for the Rosetta. As well, when the attack gets played and attacks into Spectra, it doesn't trigger their boots, so they can't pay to get an action point from their non-attack. So Lemur swung with Rosetta, destroying my Sentinel. The rune just won't pop because it was swung with the weapon and not with the attack action card. I will take out my Tunic, play my Shimmers, and just pass on. So I'm in a pretty good spot right now, I would say. I just drew another aura, a Sing Below, and 2 blue Heralds. That's not that bad. Every aura on board can count as 4 life. Oftentimes I evaluate if I want to play an aura or not onto the board by the amount of damage it absorbs, because every Rosetta swing into my aura is 4 life spared for me. So oftentimes I will be calculating if it's worth to just play my aura, take the damage, play my aura, just pass the turn, because that's basically gaining 4 HP on my next turn. So Lemur decided to just play the attack that gets discounted with the 3 rune chance popping. And now I have a decision if I want to play around Rattlebones, because if they have Rattlebones in their hands and I take the arcane damage, they will be able to PH play Rattlebones, probably take a Gloom Veil from their discard, and just wipe me out completely. So I decided to just prevent the arcane damage, take the 6 from the attack. Yep, there we go. So we decided to pop boots, pitch the card, play an non-attack action card on instant speed to get an action point. We'll see which non-attack he will play. Okay, so it's Sonata, paying additional 2, so he will be revealing 4 cards. He will regain his action point because Sonata has Go again, and it was played at instant speed. And there we go. He hits 2 attacks, 1 Reclamation, 1 Rune Flash, which is pretty good. When the boots got used, I was keeping in mind that that's probably the turn that I want to prevent the arcane damage, to possibly destroy it on this turn, but unfortunately I wasn't able to, as it was a one instance of 2 arcane damage, so I couldn't prevent it entirely, and we were equal on life points, so I didn't have the arcane barrier 3 for my skull cap. So unfortunately I had to take the arcane damage, and I probably won't be preventing any more arcane damage this turn for the exactly same reason, because it's not worth it anymore, because the boots will stay on board. I've been already dealt arcane damage, so more arcane damage doesn't really matter. and I probably want to build my board on my turn, depending on what happens here. Okay, so he's playing a E-Strike. I'm guessing it's 5 with go again. If I were to guess, yep, exactly. I'd take the 5 because it's just raw damage. I don't care about raw damage. I want to establish my board as soon as I can. Okay, and there goes a Gloomveil. There wasn't any Rune Chant this turn, so it's just a swing for 3. And I'll be pitching 5, playing a Parable. Okay, that's a interesting line. I had 2 choices basically here, from what I can see, because he has one card remaining in hand, so I'm guessing that it just will be a Rosetta swinging into my aura. And I had 2 choices to make. I could either block with my Herald of Protection to just conserve my HP, but after that I wouldn't have much plays on my turn because I would have Genesis and Sink Below in hand, and the Shimmers would probably be destroyed by the Rosetta. So I decided to pitch 5 to play my Parable of Humility to prevent some of the damage from Gloomveil, as well as have 1 floating in case the Arcane was coming for me. It was also a slight misplay. I should have used the 1 floating resource to block with my boots, because with 1 card in hand, I was sure the next attack was destroying my aura. If he had 1 more resource floating, I probably wouldn't be blocking with boots. That would be my guess, because there's also a possibility of a boost. Not exactly on this turn, but it's better safe than sorry. For example, if they had one more resource, there's a possibility that they're playing Razor Reflex, for example, and it might be buffed to 6. It will be buffed to 5, so it was safe to. Yes, so that was basically a misplay because it will be buffed to 5 and the boosts wouldn't be destroyed. But it's best to keep in mind that when the boosts are defending a card with 6 or more attack, they will get popped, and that's something you don't want to happen in your game. So in this case, it was a misplay. I should have blocked with my boots to preserve on my HP, especially since I know his last card because he took it from Sonara into hand. So he just destroyed my Parable, which is pretty good for me. I'm pretty okay with that. So I'll just take up my Tunic, swing with my Shimmers for 2. And I will Arsenal my Swing Below, which is a pretty good Arsenal. I'm happy with that turn. I preserve some HP. I still have an Aura on board, and I will have a Defense Reaction in my Arsenal to block either a Reclamation for 7 with 1 card and Swing Below, or to block for example, on hit with a Modern Skies, or to block a Meet and Greet. So I have a lot of options. Okay, so we draw a hand. This is a hand that doesn't block, so I'm happy I have the this thing below in my arsenal. There's a Gorganian Template with a draw, followed by a Sonata, paying 2 additional resources, flipping 4 cards, and that's 2 hits with a Reclamation as well. So and amplify the Arcanize, which is pretty devastating. Because usually, as I mentioned, I can block a Reclamation with a 3 block and this thing from my arsenal, but as you can see, I don't have a 3 block in my hand. So unfortunately, that's not the case this time. So we'll be seeing what the plays will be on the Viserai side. And since it was 2 Arcane as well, there we go. I'm exchanging for the Northern Gloves. Because we just realized now that I shouldn't have Arcane Barrier, but I was preventing Arcane the whole game. So the issue with the with the Sonata hitting 2 cards is that I'm taking 2 Arcane damage as well. and I would have to pitch to my Arcanite Skullcap to prevent all damage, to prevent the boots from being destroyed. And I also know that there will be other rune shots coming in, so this is not the turn to possibly destroy the boots from the Viserai player. So there we go. Meet and greet. I already took arcane damage, so unfortunately the turn will be pretty big. So right now I'm deciding if I want to pitch for preventing the arcane damage. I have the Sync in my arsenal, which will be probably used to block the meet and greet. If I were to guess, and probably exchange one of the auras. There's a misclick. Yep, there we go. Sync below to prevent that from happening. And exchange one of the auras to draw a card. There we go. And that's a 3-block card. And as you can remember, there's a runic reclamation in the Viserai's hand. Then we can use the Herald, the Blue Aura, and the Skullcap. There we go. Runic reclamation, 1 arcane. I'll probably take the arcane. Exactly. 2, 5, 7. Exactly. So I was fortunate to draw the 3-block card, because otherwise the turn would be really, really bad for me. And now I'm also present with a choice. I could have blocked more with my Passing Mirage in my previous turn, and just swung with the Shimmers of Silver to gain a counter. But I decided that I still have some health buffer, because 14 Viserai can pretty comfortably kill from 14, but I decided that I will gamble a little, so I played another aura and arsenaled a yellow one with the tunic ticking up to 3. So I'm setting myself for the possibility of drawing a blue card and possibly playing the aura from my arsenal and trying to just overwhelm them with the auras from my hand. There we go, 3rd Sonata, 3rd time paying 2 additional. We'll see if it's a 3rd hit of both cards. Flipping 4, and that's 1 hit. And that's also a meet and greet. So right off the bat, I'm preventing the arcane damage, especially since he presented meet and greet, because it prevents the meet and greet from getting in again, and it's possibly the turn in which I will destroy the Viserai's boots. There we go, Maroon Skies, get an additional rune chant, and meet and greet will be coming with go again, either way, with 2 rune chants. So if I were to guess, the opponent doesn't have any money left, so I'm guessing it will be a Viserai into my aura, so I'm preventing 2 arcane and then blocking 4 to prevent the on-hit effect, which is probably okay. I still have my counter on my tunic to be able to play my Herald from hand if it decides to stay. There we go, destroy Shimmers. So I was successful in blocking all of the arcane damage. So the boots will get destroyed. And I still can play my Herald without Phantasm because of Passing Mirage, which is a pretty good turn for me. This is the pivot turn, if I were to guess. I mean, not an entirely pivot turn, but a turn which I gained a lot of advantage. So I'm playing my Herald for 7. The Watcher Heralds are really, really good in this deck. I really love them. They dish out lots of damage and they're cost 1, so with a yellow card I'm able to pay for my boots, as I mentioned previously, to keep my action point. There we go, he took 7, it goes into my soul, and I still have my aura. Okay, so I drew Sentinel again, which is pretty unfortunate that he began with a attack. because there's nothing I can do with sentinel against that. So I'll be probably looking to be pitching the sentinel for an attack next turn, or either arsenal it, depending if I will decide to play my aura from my arsenal. So there we go. If I'm guessing correctly, it's a 5 go again, E-strike. So I'll be taking the arcane, because this is not the turn to prevent it. I don't really care about it. I think, yep. And then a CNC, which I'm pretty happy about, because if you remember, I have a auto ref in my arsenal. So I'll be probably okay with just taking the damage. If I were to guess, just block 3, pitch 2 cards, play the out, play the passing mirage on my turn, and end the turn with 3 auras, which is pretty good. Okay, so I pitch to. Okay, that's also a good play, I think. So I pitch 6 to play out, make a spectral shield. Yep, that's also a good turn. Might be even better than what I imagined right now, because I have 2 options. I can either swing with my sentinel. There we go. I will swing with my Wartune, because this is the turn to push the damage. The other option was to pitch the Wartune Herald to be able to swing to make a Spectral Shield, to be able to swing 4 times for 2, for 1 and on hit 1 damage, 1 loss of life, and arsenal my ALS Arclight Sentinel. But since I had Passing Mirage on the field, I decided to push for damage, because either it takes some equipment or 2 cards, or it builds up my soul more, and it pushes 7 damage, which is quite a lot. He will be at 10. That's pretty good. We'll see what Lemur decides to do in this case. So probably deciding if it's worth to prevent me from getting the damage, depending on what's his hand like. So now I have 2 auras on my field, so it's also not a bad idea on his side to just block the Wartune, block one of the auras, just make a root chance swing into one my aura and pass the turn, but it will be a tempo swing in my favor, so we decided to just take it. I'll swing 1, block 1, swing 1, block 1, swing 1, take 2. So that's pretty good. That makes me scared of what his hand can do, since he has 4 cards in hand and 1 in arsenal. If I decided to so in case I decided to arsenal my Arclight Sentinel, I would be able to play this turn, which I'm probably kicking myself over as he's playing his Become the Arc Knight, because I don't have anything to respond to that. Also, my hand is pretty awkward, so this might be the turn that I die. We'll see what kind of turn he can pull off. He's deciding, he's looking over his graveyard to decide what he's able to search. Okay, so this discards a Moving Skies to search an attack. So it says to me that he has Natural Go again in hand. So either Rattle Bones to search up Gloomveil, or he's just Gloomveil will be searched from the Become, and he has something like Revel in Runeblood to Rosetta, which is a lot of damage, as we can assume. Deciding what he wants to pull. If he has a Mover in hand, a Amplify the Arcanine would be also fine. And he still has his Ether Whiff to be able to do a big turn. Okay, so he takes Rune Flash. There we go. There's the Swarming Gloomveil. So we know there's a Swarming Gloomveil, a Rune Flash in hand, and a Rosetta Swing possibly coming, because with a blue card and a Rune Flash in hand, it's all possible because those got discounted as well. So this will be my block turn. So I block 3. He pops his Etherweave, gaining 2 resources and playing a Rune Flash, discounted by 1. So I will be preventing the arcane damage. And then probably sinking and switching over my Prismatic Shield, exactly, because this is a card that I won't be able to play this turn, so I'm just exchanging it for anything I can. There's a Soul Shield, which is fine, but unfortunately he had another Rune Flash, which won't be able to block all of the damage, as it will create one more Rune Chant, and it will be 5 damage from the Rosetta, 5 damage for the Rune Flash and the Rune Chant. I can block I must take the Rune Chant, taking the Spectral Shield, and then I can play my Soul Shield to prevent the 4 damage from Rune Flash. But basically the Rosetta kills me after that. If we can skip a little bit into the future, I was considering every play I could, so paying for boots, paying for a Spectral Shield, blocking with the equipment, but because of the Rune Chant created by the Rune Flash, I wasn't able to do that. If there was one less arcane damage coming into me, or one less damage overall, I would be able to survive that. So we'll see what line I took here. So I use my 2 resources to do something, to block with boots and to prevent the arcane damage, and block 3, taking 1 Spectral Shield. There we go. And then the rest that just comes and just kills me. I can prevent 2 of the arcane damage, and the 3 damage kills me. So this was game 1. The Viserai player won. If I had any takeaways from this game, probably not. I'm pretty happy with all of my decisions. There was the only decision that was bad was not blocking with the boots when in the turn that I had 1 floating, which cost me the game this turn. But being at 1 health with no cards in hand against a Viserai with a full draw, that's pretty much over anyways, so it wouldn't matter that much. They can break, sure, but it's highly possible that they will just kill me outright, and if not kill me, take 3 of my cards, and with 1 card I can do anything when they're at 8 HP and I'm with no equipment. So that's that. I had some clunky draws. Some of the hands I would prefer to have more Heralds or more cards to just block. I saw my sinks pretty late into game, I think. I think I saw 1 early, as well as my Soul Shields. I saw pretty much late into the game, so I had to take all the Amplifies, because Soul Shields are mainly played for the Amplify the Arknights, as they're the most cost-efficient block for that. Overall, I don't think I made much mistakes. Probably there was 1 or 2 lines that could be played better, but I'm pretty happy with the performance this game. So this was game 1. Thank you for watching, and we'll see each other for game 2 probably.